Welcome to the American Institute of Healthcare Professionals videogram on anger management and road rage. And there's definitely a place where it is safe sometimes to be angry. When individuals become angry, they might go to vent a little bit, and they might go to a place where no one else is around and they're able to let their frustration out, maybe going to a gym to let their frustration out. But one place not to vent, and one place definitely never to display anger, is while driving a motor vehicle on the road. And a lot of this has been documented before within any type of driver's education, which students go through, and also remedial courses where many individuals end up losing their license because of road rage incidents. So it's extremely important to avoid aggressive driving, to drive defensively, and not to allow emotions behind the wheel of a car to overcome yourself while driving. But as we all know, while we're driving, anger can occur at any moment. Becoming angry is really, in many respects, part of being human. It's just how we channel that anger, how we control that anger is key. But whenever we lose control, ourselves are put at risk. And if we're behind the wheel of a car, a 2-ton vehicle that responds to a moment's whim, a simple turn of the wheel or push of the brake or an acceleration, it can cause severe consequences to oneself, to one's property, and to other individuals, which can then lead to further escalations, which can even lead to prison time. So road rage is a serious health hazard, and it's a potentially deadly encounter, and it's something that individuals need to think twice about. And that's really what the purpose of this video is to correlate anger management and using it behind the wheel of a car. So how can we prevent road rage? How can we prevent deadly encounters from occurring? And they do occur daily throughout the United States. We can prevent road rage primarily by having already a good anger management system in place. Now, no system is foolproof because, again, anger can be aroused within us at any moment. But if we have some control of ourselves, and we have some type of anger management where we don't lose our cool, or we do not lose our emotional control of the situation at home, well, it's less likely that something minor on the road will trigger one as well. So anger management and knowing how to control triggers that make emotion erupt from oneself, and knowing how to let things go in daily life usually translates to the road. However, we have some individuals who are saints at home, but then they get behind the wheel of a car and they become literal monsters, so to speak. And it can become very frightening as they transform from a Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde the moment they get behind the wheel of a car. So it's important in these daily encounters on the road to take our anger management to another higher level. And there's a few things listed on this slide that an individual, a driver, can take to heart. Few of them are letting go and not taking every single thing that another driver does as a personal slight. And individuals who drive sometimes take offense, too much offense, as if the person is out to get them, or what the person did is the most grievous offense to them that they will ever see in their entire life. And so we need to let the drama drop a little bit and understand that this person probably doesn't even know that they offended you to begin with. And if they did, it's not even personal. They don't even know who you are. But yet these things still occur where another driver can become one's greatest enemy in that particular moment. Some other ways: not making driving a competition. Many individuals race, or they try to get ahead of other individuals, or they try to be somewhere quicker than what they should be. They're always driving in a hurry, trying to beat lights. In many ways, they're just driving aggressive. And the moment the aggressive driving occurs, then one opens oneself up to a higher probability of an angry encounter due to the aggressive nature of the driving. And that's why defensive driving is so key. Giving oneself proper spacing, watching one's speed, being polite, and giving oneself more time to get from point A to point B. This creates a more relaxing atmosphere within the vehicle itself. Other things are, if you consider yourself as an individual walking on the street or walking in a grocery store and someone walks right in front of you, usually individuals do not lose their temper over this because they see a human being. But the moment, again, when someone gets behind the wheel of a car, this tends to change. Now, all of a sudden, it becomes a major offense because it's a car itself and we are on the road itself. So instead of seeing the object, which is easier to get angry with, imagine the person inside the car, as if you were at that grocery store and somebody with a buggy might have went in front of you, or a shopping cart. One doesn't lose their complete mind over such things. So on the road, if we can transfer that mentality, a lot of bad things can be prevented. Also, attribution error, it's referred to in driver's education. And attribution error is attributing something, a reason why this particular individual is driving aggressively around you, or speeding, or annoying you, or cut you off. And in attribution error, you assume that maybe the person is rushing to the hospital. Maybe that's why they're doing it. Or maybe they're having a really bad day and their father or mother passed away a week ago. Or it's a doctor who's trying to make an appointment to help another individual in the ER. So there's things that we can play, some mental gymnastics, to try to let it go easier than seeing it as a personal affront to ourselves in itself. So what are some things that we can do to prevent road rage? Some of the most common things that cause road rage. Well, first is the illicit use of the horn. Individuals, by the way they use the horn, by the pressure put on the horn, the length of the blast, tell an individual what the horn is really meaning. If it's a quick little toot of the horn, usually it means please go, or hey, watch me, I'm here, look out. But when someone puts more pressure on it, they hold it for a long time, it exemplifies the anger of the individual, and it almost becomes as if someone is swearing at the other individual. And the response to a horn being used with that much pressure and length, as opposed to a quick toot of where I'm at, or can you please go, really will create a different response in regards to how people respond. So how one uses the horn. Traffic jams are a common source of huge frustration. So individuals in a traffic jam are more likely already being irritated to fall into a case of road rage with another individual. Cars that go too slow or too fast, and the other individual responds by flying around them and then maybe cutting them off and giving them a brake check, so to speak. Improper lane usage on the freeway. If someone stays in the left lane too long, this can cause massive frustration. Some individuals become very angry just at lack of use of a turn signal. And they feel that this is the greatest offense that you can commit with driving, so they're going to want to utilize that. Another one is use of high beams and lights themselves. If someone is misusing a high beam or uses their high beam in an aggressive way, it can also trigger a road rage response. And then just simply gestures or looks. If one was to flick another person off through the window, this can cause a massive response that isn't even properly correlated to the offense itself. But you don't know, the driver doesn't know what the other person is capable of doing. So just by your gesture or the look on one's face can give a response that is more or less than friendly than you might expect. It might be in terms of rage very, very high. So I think sometimes as drivers, individuals need to back off a little bit, let some things go, and most importantly, not feel the need to be the police officer on the road, or the need to educate an individual because maybe they didn't put their turn signal on, or you feel that that other driver is going too fast itself. And we need to remember that the car is a weapon. With that little bit of rage and anger, you can kill another human being. You can spend a long time in jail on manslaughter charges, or even worse, using it. And when it escalates beyond the car, individuals can get out of the car and they might be carrying a weapon. They could be carrying a pistol or a gun. And this can lead to one's untimely demise. And this happens all the time in the United States. It's not an exception, unfortunately. So I think we need to understand that our anger can, at a moment's notice, turn the car into a weapon and put us into conflict with someone we might not really want to become an enemy with. I mean, do we really know the other person in the car? Again, we see a car, we don't see a person. But what type of person is behind that wheel of the car? Could they be mentally stable? Could they be in a state of depression? Could they be carrying a weapon? So there's many things to take into consideration regarding road rage and controlling your own anger for your own well-being, your own livelihood of avoiding an incident that could prematurely take your life or find yourself behind bars because of it. So anger management, again, is key. And it's important, I think, for individuals who have anger issues to work on them at home before they get behind the wheel of a car, so that these issues do not carry over and then become displaced on other innocent drivers who then might respond or might not, but still create a very dangerous avenue of possible death and destruction when it comes to car crashes and other individuals assaulting one another. We offer here at AIHCP an anger management consulting certification, and obviously road rage is just one slither of the anger management conversation itself. We have a link below and a number at 330-652-7776. And our email is info@aihcp.org. So if you're interested in anger management as a professional to help other individuals learn to control their anger in whatever venue they may be, this might be a certification that you are interested in if you meet the qualifications. I'd like to thank you for listening today, and drive safely.